and perfect conditions for a nice answer to a question from today's Bishop's Corner. Kim in Shelby, who sent in her question, Dear Bishop, this time of year I find it refreshing to avail myself of the opportunity to confess my sins through the Sacrament of Reconciliation. I'm interested in getting your insight about doing a good examen of conscience prior to receiving the sacrament. Are there any suggestions you have in preparing my soul to unburden myself prior to entering the confessional?
So, Kim, thank you so much. And I would just first say, blessed be God, and how exemplary that you are considering. And it's beautiful here. You find it refreshing to avail yourself of the opportunity to confess your sins. And now you say this time of year. So that's so helpful to hear in Lent. I also hope, Kim, that you might begin the practice of confession if you don't celebrate the sacrament outside of Lent, maybe to make it a every other month practice or an every month practice, because the more we go to confession, the more we recognize and see the truth about ourselves, and the more we can invite the Lord's grace to remove from us whatever is not of him. So I think it's a wonderful invitation to all our viewers and listeners, Kim, through your witness. So thanks be to God. I would say, and actually in your writing, I don't know if it was a mistake the way it was written, but it said to doing a good examen of conscience. Now, usually, obviously, we want to say an examen of conscience, but to use the word that you wrote, Kim, oftentimes we hear a consciousness examen, and that's very common to hear. So I just wanted to clarify that for folks from what was written in your questions. Now, ways, suggestions. You can go right to the USCCB website, Kim, and on the USCCB website, there are multiple examinations of conscience that are offered for all sorts of people. So, for example, you can do an examination of conscience based on the 10 Commandments, one that's in the public square, examination of conscience in light of Catholic social teaching, examination of conscience for children, for young adults, for a single person, for married persons. So I think you get the idea. There are plenty of these which are helpful tools for one looking to make a good examen of conscience prior to confession. Obviously, the 10 Commandments, the Beatitudes, and I would just humbly say, get online. And I noticed I went online to look myself, and there are some which just step through the commandments, and then they make this examen of conscience, asking questions. Is there anything in my life regarding this? So I think that would be the best way. And I would give yourself at least 15 minutes, if not a half an hour, in preparation to go into confession, in making this good examen, being honest with yourself. And I often call it, for example, looking into the spiritual mirror. And Jesus is looking back at you, looking to find himself. So blessings for your doing that examination of conscience and for encountering Jesus' mercy in the Sacrament of Reconciliation.
Well, that just makes me want to hear the whole show, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, and you'd want to hear the whole show anyway. But we love that he, along with the team there, but he picks out that favorite question that he wants to highlight, and we love that he does that for us each and every Thursday here for morning offering, and then of course you can catch the rest of the program a little later.